Have you ever found yourself in that quiet space, that subtle, almost imperceptible shift that settles between you and the one you love? It's not a storm. There are no thunderclouds of argument, no lightning flashes of conflict. No harsh words have been spoken, no overt battles fought. Just a growing absence. A stillness that wasn't there before, a vacuum where once there was a vibrant presence. It's as if a melody, a soft, vibrant song that once played effortlessly between your hearts, has slowly begun to fade. You might not have noticed it at first. Perhaps it became a whisper, barely audible, a distant echo in the background of your busy lives. Then even that whisper softened, until you realize with a pang, it's simply gone. A silence. Not a comfortable shared silence where souls rest together in understanding, but one that feels hollowed out, a silence that separates rather than unites. We often find ourselves searching for answers in the tangible. We look at her, at him, at the circumstances of our lives. We ask with a sense of bewilderment and perhaps a touch of sadness, what happened to her interest? What changed in him? We dissect moments, replaying conversations, analyzing actions or the lack thereof. And these are valid questions in their own way, born of a genuine desire to understand. But they often touch only the surface, like ripples on a deep, dark lake. They might point to symptoms, but rarely to the root. Perhaps, my friend, the deeper question, the one that truly holds the key to understanding, lies elsewhere. Perhaps we should be asking, what happened to the flow between us? This is not about blame, you see. Blame creates walls, thick and impenetrable, that only further isolate us. And we are here to explore the subtle currents, the invisible streams that animate our connection, or allow it to wither. It is about understanding the delicate, energetic dance that is the very essence of attraction, of intimacy, of the life force itself that binds two souls. So let us simply sit for a moment, right here, together, in this quiet, intimate space, and just feel this silence. Acknowledge its presence, not with judgment, not with accusation, but with a quiet curiosity, a gentle willingness to observe, to listen to what it might be telling us. This is an invitation to presence, to an inner stillness that can perceive the unspoken. Because between a man and a woman flows not just physical passion, not merely emotional connection, but life itself. It is a current, a living, breathing river of energy that sustains not only the physical bond, but the very spirit. When this river flows freely, there is a vibrant hum, an unspoken understanding that transcends words. There is a spark in the eyes that ignites recognition, a warmth in the touch that conveys absolute safety, a resonance in the shared breath that speaks volumes beyond any language. It is the feeling of being truly seen, truly felt, truly met at the deepest level of your being. It is the knowing that you are, in that moment, part of something larger, something sacred, something profoundly interconnected. This flow is the very essence of creation, the raw material of inspiration, the wellspring of joy. This energetic flow manifests in 1,000 subtle yet profound ways. It's in the way you intuitively know what the other needs without a single word being uttered. It's in the shared laughter that erupts spontaneously, bubbling up from a deep shared well of connection and understanding.
It's in the profound comfort of simply being together, without the need to fill the space with chatter or activity. It's in the effortless way your hands find each other, even after years, a silent testament to an enduring magnetic pull. This flow, it is the very lifeblood of intimacy, the constant renewal of shared vitality. It fuels our creativity, our personal joy, our very sense of aliveness in the world. When it is present, life feels richer, more vibrant, more purposeful. When this current is strong, desire itself transcends the merely physical. Desire is not merely a biological urge, a fleeting impulse of the body. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is the yearning for reunion, for completion, for the sacred dance of two complementary energies intertwining. It is the deep, primal impulse of the universe remembering itself in the embrace of two beings. Attraction, in its purest, most profound form, is not sin. It is the universe remembering itself. It is the magnetic pull of complementary forces, seeking harmony, seeking expression, seeking to complete a cosmic circuit. It is a divine echo, a whisper from the infinite, inviting us into deeper connection. But how then does this vibrant song begin to fade? How does this living river become still, its surface calm but lifeless? It rarely happens with a sudden dramatic catastrophe, like a dam breaking or a flood. More often, it is a slow accumulation of small things, pebbles of neglect, fallen leaves of unspoken resentments, debris of unexamined fears, all of which gradually, almost imperceptibly, restrict the current. It's a slow erosion, a quiet turning away. Perhaps it begins with a subtle turning away of attention, not a deliberate rejection, but a growing distraction. A moment when your gaze, which once lingered with open wonder, seeing the depth and beauty of the other, now hurries past, preoccupied by the demands of work, by the clamor of the outside world, by the endless stream of thoughts in your own mind. A moment when a touch becomes a habit, a reflex, rather than a conscious, present connection, an offering of warmth and presence. A breath that is no longer consciously shared, no longer synchronized in a quiet rhythm, but simply breathed, alone, beside each other, in separate worlds. The inner space, once resonant, becomes empty. For a woman, this energetic flow is often deeply, intrinsically entwined with her very essence, her life force, her capacity for receiving and giving. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her capacity for nurturing, for creativity, for sensual expression, for joy, it all stems from this vibrant internal current and her connection to the shared current. She feels the shifts in the shared energy with a profound, almost visceral sensitivity, often long before any words are spoken or any overt signs appear. She may not articulate it as blocked energy, but she feels it as a diminishing of vitality within herself, a fading of her own inner light. She feels less seen, less cherished, less understood, less alive in the presence of the one she loves. Her vulnerability, her openness, her very radiance depends on this feeling of being met, of being held in the energetic field of connection. When that field weakens, she instinctively withdraws, not out of malice. The quiet moment arrives, doesn't it? That whisper in the stillness, suggesting something has shifted. Perhaps you felt it, a cooling, a fading, as if the vibrant flame that once danced between you and another has simply run out of fuel. It's a common misconception, this idea that interest, desire, passion simply vanish into thin air.
But true energy, my friend, never truly disappears. It merely transforms. It redirects. Or, sometimes, it becomes blocked, like a deep river suddenly meeting an unseen dam. Where then does that living current go? Where does the spark hide? Look closely, not just at the other, but within yourself. Often what we perceive as a waning of interest in her is in truth a subtle shift in how we are seeing. Do we still truly see her? Or has she, in the quiet corners of our minds, become something less than the boundless world she truly is? An object, perhaps, of comfort, of familiarity, of expectation, but no longer a mystery to be explored, a landscape to be wandered with wonder. When a man ceases to look with wonder at the woman beside him, something essential begins to withdraw. That vibrant presence, once sparkling with anticipation and discovery, can settle into a kind of quiet predictability. Our eyes might still rest upon her, but do they carry the same depth, the same curiosity, the same reverence for the exquisite complexity that resides within her? When our gaze becomes accustomed rather than filled with the newness of each breath she takes, the very current of life flowing between us begins to slow. It's not just about her, you see. It's also about us. That wellspring of vitality within each man, that deep innate thirst for life that once made us vibrant, radiant, irresistible, has it too perhaps become a little parched? We chase successes, responsibilities, the rhythms of daily life, and sometimes, without realizing it, we lose connection with our own inner source. When that connection weakens, our presence itself changes. It becomes less full, less resonant. We may be physically present, but our spirit, our deeper energy, might be elsewhere, preoccupied, or even asleep. Remember, desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It's not merely a physical craving, a biological imperative. It is the soul's deepest longing for connection, for expansion, for the merging of two universes into one glorious, unified moment. When we reduce desire to something purely physical, when we forget its sacred, profound origins, we mute its voice. We stop listening to the whispers of our own soul, and in doing so, we become deaf to the soul of the other. This isn't about losing sex in the conventional performance-oriented sense. What we truly lose when this energetic flow is interrupted is vitality. That vibrant, pulsing life force that nourishes all forms of intimacy, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, and yes, physical. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose that radiant aliveness that makes laughter spontaneous, conversation deep, and touch electric. The absence isn't an empty space, it's a slowed current. It's the very essence of life's current moving sluggishly rather than with its natural, joyous flow. And so the question isn't if the spark is gone, but where it has gone. Has it merely redirected its warmth inward? Has it become quiet, waiting for you to remember how to look again with awe, to feel again with unburdened curiosity, to simply be present? Because between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. And that life, that energy, is always seeking its most beautiful expression. It waits for us to invite it back into full, vibrant motion. And as we gently turn our gaze inward, reflecting on the subtle currents that shape our most intimate connections, we begin to touch upon a truth often obscured.
A truth that whispers beneath the surface of everyday interaction. We speak of attraction, of desire, and too often these profound energies are misunderstood, simplified, even feared. Let us understand this, truly. Let us hold it with reverence. Attraction is not sin. No, it is so much more than that. It is the universe remembering itself, a deep, ancient recognition, a profound echo resounding from the very core of creation. It is the vastness of existence sensing its own reflection, its own yearning for completion in another. When you feel that pull, that inexplicable magnetism, it is not merely a biological impulse. It is the cosmos stirring within you, a memory, a homecoming, a quiet, undeniable truth unfolding. It is sacred. It is primal. It is the recognition of spirit mirrored in another spirit. And desire itself, what is it truly? We often confine it to the physical, to a mere biological urge, but this is to misunderstand its profound depth. True desire, you see, is not just the body calling, it is the soul singing, a quiet, persistent melody, a yearning for resonance, for harmony. It is the soul reaching out, seeking another soul with whom to dance, to merge, to co-create. It is a hunger not just for touch, but for profound connection, for a shared breath, a shared dream. It is the soul's deepest language, the language through which it speaks its longing for union, for wholeness.
Between a man and a woman, there flows not just passion, but life itself, a vibrant, living current, an energetic stream. It is palpable. It is real. This is the very essence of intimacy. It is a shared pulse, a mutual rhythm. When this current flows freely, when it is honored and acknowledged, it invigorates everything. It heals. It inspires. It elevates. It is the creative force of the universe, channeled through two human beings. This is not merely an exchange of words or even of touch. It is an exchange of vital force, a giving and receiving of life energy itself, a silent conversation of souls. So, when a woman, perhaps, begins to seem distant, when that luminous spark in her eyes appears to dim, when her interest seems to wane, it often means something profound. It can mean she has ceased to feel this living current, this vital, energetic flow. She is no longer sensing that sacred resonance, that profound exchange. It is not necessarily a judgment of you as a person. It is often a signal that the energetic space between you has become stagnant, or blocked, or simply unacknowledged. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex. No, we lose something far greater. We lose vitality. We lose the animating force of life itself, the joy, the inspiration, the simple, radiant pleasure of being. This blockage can manifest in countless subtle ways: unspoken words, unexpressed feelings, a lack of conscious presence.
A rush, a demand, a forgetting of the sacred space that exists between two beings. And in its absence, the soul's song can fade to a whisper or fall silent altogether. Her own energy, you see, is exquisite. It is delicate. Her sensitivity, her innate response to life, to beauty, to you, all of this needs space. It needs room to breathe freely, to expand, to bloom. Like a delicate flower, it cannot be forced open. It must be invited, nurtured, witnessed. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. Her energy flows not just through her body, but out into the world, into the connection, into the very air you share. And if that space for her breath, for her expansion, is not present, if it feels constrained or judged or simply unseen, then that vital flow can recede. It can turn inward, protecting itself. And the spark, that precious, radiant spark, can become elusive. The true spark, the authentic connection, it is never a pressure, never a demand. How could it be? True intimacy cannot be coerced. It is an invitation, an open, gentle hand extended, an invitation to co-creation, to a shared dance, to a mutual unfolding. It is a call to deep, conscious presence, to truly see her, to truly feel her, not with an agenda, but with wonder. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he ceases to approach the mystery of another with reverence, with curiosity, with an open heart. This presence, this conscious awareness, allows both of you to feel utterly alive, to feel full, to feel inspired, to feel connected to something vast and beautiful, something that transcends the everyday. It is in this space of mutual invitation, of respect for the flow, that the deepest intimacy blossoms. It is not something you take, it is something you co-create, together, with breath, with presence, with a deep, knowing reverence for the sacred current that seeks to flow between you. It is the art of being together and allowing life itself to express through your union. We speak of connection, of sparks that fade, of a subtle shift, a quiet distance that grows between two souls who once moved as one. And often in our modern world, we rush to analyze the other. We ask, what did I do wrong? Or what changed in her? But the deepest truths, the most profound answers, rarely lie outside ourselves. They reside within. The journey back. It begins not with trying to reclaim a lost gaze or to rekindle an interest that seems to have dimmed. No, that is a path of striving, of pursuit. And true intimacy, true passion, cannot be pursued.
It can only be invited. It can only be allowed to emerge from a place of authenticity. The path back, it begins with returning to you, with remembering. Not remembering a technique or a strategy, but remembering the very essence of your own being. Do you recall what made you truly alive?
What ignited that inner flame, that spark that drew others to you effortlessly? What filled your world and your very cells with a sense of wonder? Pause with that thought. Let it settle. For often, in the quiet currents of life, we lose touch with that original vibrancy. We become entangled in expectations, in the daily grind, in the relentless proving of our worth. And slowly, imperceptibly, the light within begins to dim. Not because it has died, but because we have forgotten to tend to it. We have forgotten to feed its sacred fire. This path of return, it is a path of awareness, a deep, gentle turning inward. It asks you to feel your own presence again, to truly occupy your own body, your own spirit. Consider your breath, this most fundamental rhythm of life. How often do we breathe shallowly, mechanically, as if breath were merely air and not the very current that carries vitality through every vein, every nerve, every cell? When you breathe deeply, truly deeply, allowing the air to fill your lungs, to expand your chest, to settle into your belly, do you feel it? That subtle stir, that awakening. It is the life force itself, remembering its home within you. It is not merely oxygen entering your body. It is spirit. It is presence. It is the universe breathing through you. When a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. And when a man allows himself to breathe with such depth, with such conscious presence, he invites life to breathe through him. He becomes a conduit. He becomes grounded. And in that grounding, in that quiet strength, a different kind of energy begins to emanate. This presence, it extends beyond your own body. It extends into how you encounter the world, how you encounter another. Are you truly there? When you are with her, do you simply exist next to her? Or do you truly see her? Not just with your eyes, but with the depth of your attention. Do you hear her? Not just the words, but the subtle melody of her heart, the unspoken currents beneath her voice. Do you feel her? Her energy, her essence, her unique song, even when no words are exchanged. This is not a technique. This is a state of being, a state of open, receptive awareness, a path of presence where you don't just exist next to someone, but see, hear, feel the other person with your whole being. For when we lose this presence, we lose something vital. When energy is blocked, we don't lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose the creative impulse. We lose the very current of life that makes us vibrant, engaging, magnetic. We become disconnected from ourselves, and then inevitably from others. The path of return is also about courage. The courage to feel your own flow again, your own creative energy, your own unique purpose. What is it that truly lights you up? What endeavor, what expression, what connection makes your spirit sing? When do you feel most alive, most aligned with your deeper self? That is your flow. That is your current. It might be in your work, in your art, in your quiet contemplation, in your service to others.
It is the wellspring of your unique contribution to the world. And when you are connected to that wellspring, a profound shift occurs. You are no longer seeking external validation. You are no longer trying to earn love or attention. You are simply radiating. Remember the profound wisdom in this. Desire is the language through which the soul speaks. It is not merely a carnal urge. It is the soul's yearning for connection, for creation, for expression, for deep intimacy. When we honor that desire, when we allow it to flow through us in its myriad forms, creative, spiritual, relational, we become whole, we become vibrant. A man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder, when he stops exploring, when he stops growing, when he stops tending to his inner landscape. The journey back is a return to that wonder, to that innate curiosity about life, about yourself, about the mystery of connection. When a man regains this inner strength, when his heart is truly open, free from the armor of past hurts or the fear of rejection, when his spirit is free from fear, free from the need to control or to prove, then and only then does the world around him begin to respond differently. Not because he is trying to make it respond, but because he is simply being. This is the profound secret. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to earn anything. Your worth is inherent. Your light is eternal. Your task is simply to uncover it, to allow it to shine, to be. And in that state of authentic being, of grounded presence, of radiating inner light, attraction is not sin. It's the universe remembering itself. It is the natural resonance between two souls, two energies, recognizing something true, something beautiful, something sacred. It is the unfolding of life itself, flowing through you and between you. Between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself. And that life, that current, never truly disappears. It merely waits for you to remember, to awaken, to breathe it back into being. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken. We have spoken of threads unraveling, of a quiet fading, of a partner's gaze perhaps drifting, or a silent settling where laughter once echoed. And it is easy in those moments to feel the sting of rejection, the weight of inadequacy, to believe that something within you has diminished or simply run its course. But I ask you now to pause, to breathe with me deeply, and to consider a different truth. This loss of interest, it is rarely what it seems on the surface. It is not an ending. It is a mirror, a profound, sometimes painful, but always truthful mirror, reflecting something far deeper than mere superficial attraction. It reflects a call, a quiet whisper from the soul, perhaps even your soul, urging you toward a profound awakening. Think of it not as a judgment, but as an invitation to return to yourself, to your truest nature, because the energy we speak of, this vital, pulsing, creative current, it never truly dies. It merely waits. It waits for you to remember it, to cease fearing its power.
To allow it, once again, to flow freely. For between a man and a woman flows not just passion, but life itself, a river of connection, rich and fertile. And when that river seems to dry, or its waters grow still, it is not because the source has vanished. It is often because something has dammed the flow. A fear, an unspoken wound, a turning away from the very essence of who we are. This energy, it is not simply the urge to procreate. No, it is the primal spark of existence. It is the force that pushes a seed through soil, that pulls the moon across the sky. It is the impulse to create, to connect, to heal. When we speak of sexual energy, we are speaking of life force itself, distilled and potent. And so, when this energy is blocked, what do we truly lose? We don't just lose sex, we lose vitality. We lose that vibrant current that fuels our creativity, our joy, our very sense of being alive. The world around us seems to dim. Colors fade. Music loses its rhythm. A quiet sadness can settle, a longing for something unnamed. This is why desire is not the body calling, it is the soul singing. It is the soul's inherent need to connect, to merge, to express its boundless nature. And when that song is stifled, when we silence it out of fear or shame or weariness, then the silence becomes deafening, the longing becomes acute. Perhaps you feel it now, that quiet yearning, that sense of something lost. It is not lost, it is simply dormant, like a seed in winter, waiting for the warmth of spring. Consider the dance of life itself. It is a continuous ebb and flow, a breathing in, a breathing out, a gathering, a release. This vital energy within us moves in the same rhythm. It is not meant to be a constant roaring flame, but a living, breathing fire that brightens, softens, and then brightens again. When we cling too tightly, when we demand a constant intensity, we disrupt this natural rhythm. We try to force the river against its course, and inevitably it resists. It seeks its own path, its own natural movement. So, how do we invite this flow back? How do we awaken what seems to have receded? It begins not with grand gestures, but with quiet attention, with a gentle turning inward. It begins with breath, deep, conscious breath. For when a woman breathes deeply, life breathes with her. And when a man breathes deeply, he grounds himself in the present moment, in the richness of his own being. Breath is the bridge between body and soul. It is the simplest, most profound way to invite energy to flow. It begins with wonder, with seeing anew, not just your partner, but the world around you, the intricate pattern of a leaf, the vastness of the night sky, the soft warmth of a hand. For a man doesn't lose power when he ages. He loses it when he stops looking with wonder. When he allows the familiar to become mundane, he closes off the very channels through which inspiration and vitality flow. And wonder, in turn, reawakens attraction, not a grasping, needy attraction, but a pure, luminous recognition. For attraction is not sin.
It's the universe remembering itself. It is the magnetic pull of life towards life. The acknowledgement of beauty, of spirit, of the divine spark in another and in oneself. This awakening is not about finding a new partner or performing tricks or chasing fleeting sensations. No, it is about an honest, tender reconciliation with yourself, with your own body, with your own heart, with your own desire. It is about understanding that your sensual energy is sacred. It is a gift, a source of creative power that extends far beyond the bedroom. It fuels your art, your work, your passions, your empathy. It is the wellspring of your unique contribution to the world. When we neglect this wellspring, when we treat our desire as something shameful or trivial or merely functional, we cut ourselves off from a profound source of strength and inspiration. We become duller, flatter, less vibrant. And yes, sometimes the reflections in the mirror of our relationships begin to show this dullness. But remember, that reflection is simply a signal, a gentle nudge, an invitation to look deeper, to listen to the quiet murmurings of your own being. What is your soul yearning to express? What beauty is it longing to create? What connection is it truly seeking? This journey back to vitality is not a race. It is a slow, unfolding revelation, a gentle rediscovery of rhythms you once knew. It requires patience. It requires kindness, especially kindness towards yourself. Allow yourself to feel, not just joy, but also the quiet ache, the longing, the nostalgia. These are not weaknesses. They are signposts. They are the soul's way of pointing you home. Imagine the energy within you as a sleeping giant, not dormant in death, but in a profound slumber, waiting for the right conditions to stir, waiting for the warmth of your attention, the gentle breeze of your breath, the sunlight of your awareness. It is not about forcing anything. It is about allowing the current to flow, allowing the breath to deepen, allowing the heart to open, allowing the wonder to return. The dance of life never ends. It simply changes its tempo, its expression. And you, my friend, are an integral part of this eternal dance. Your energy, your essence, your unique light is needed. It is waiting to shine. Love, feel, breathe. The energy within you has never died. It's been waiting for you to awaken.